Good morning. Welcome everyone. Thanks for being here today. My name is Jeff Mazer, and I want to take just a moment to tee up the issue and the solution that we're going to be talking about today. Issue is state employee pay. Well known at this point that Missouri is 50th out of 50 states in terms of state employee pay. It's become a real problem, not just for state workers, but the economies of the places in which they live, and for managing state government, as we've seen with record amount of state turnover last year in 2014. Missouri state pay is, as I said, the lowest in the country. In fact, it's about $1,000 a year on average lower than the next lowest state, and it's more than $2,300 a year lower than any state that borders Missouri. So it's a real issue. Not only that, we've seen in past years, over the course of the last 10 years, we see the reason why Missouri has fallen behind. Over the last 6 budget years, only 3 of those years saw an increase at all, and many of those increases were very small. And that's led to a situation by which Missouri can hardly keep positions filled, and it becomes very hard to manage state government, and obviously very hard for the workers that do that. In lieu of the problem, we are looking for a solution to try to, over a multi-year plan, fix this issue. Specifically, what we're talking about today, and what we are lucky to have the leadership of these folks behind me to work on, is a plan by which over 5 years we would seek to make sure that Missouri's rank in state employee pay matches its rank in cost of living among every other state. So we're 50th in pay. When we rank cost of living of other states, we're 34th in cost of living. Those things don't match, and that's a real problem for the people who do this work. So if over 5 years we can solve that issue by making those two things match, we'll do a substantial bit of good for the people who do this work and for the economy of the state. Again, I'm very grateful that we have folks here, including legislators who are taking a lead on this issue. Senator Jamila Nasheed, Representative Jay Barnes, Representative Travis Fitzwater. Glad to have their support here today. And I want to now turn things over to Senator Nasheed and let her say a few words. Senator.
Good morning, everyone. For the record, I am Senator Jamila Nasheed, representing the 5th Senatorial District in the city of St. Louis. I would first like to thank AFSCME for all of their hard work and dedication on behalf of all of the state employees. State workers are the backbone of our community. They are on the front line each and every day working to better our state. State workers care about the sick, make our roads safe, and educate our children. They deserve the very best that we have to offer. But we are not holding up our end of the bargain. Out of 50 states, we are dead last in state employee pay. It's appalling to me. We are the show me state. Missouri workers deserve better pay. I don't know about you, but let me tell you, in the last 6 years, state workers have almost 0 salary increases. In 2014, the turnover rate for state workers was 17%. We must do better. I stand here proud to say to each and every one of you that I voted against a raise for elected officials that would have left out state workers. Why should we give ourselves a raise when the people who voted us into office get left behind? I wholeheartedly endorse the 5-year plan to bring state workers to the cost of living that they deserve. I encourage all of my colleagues to stand with me and many other organizations and say that they deserve a raise, meaning state workers. You see, the cost of living for state workers is at its all-time low, and we know that. While gas prices steadily rise, food prices steadily rise, the workers' pay is at a standstill. And we have to say enough is enough. So again, I would like to commend AFSCME and many of the other organizations that have stepped up to the plate and worked extremely hard to do what is in the best interest of state workers throughout the state of Missouri. Again, thank you all for coming, and thank you for your dedication and your hard work to the state employees here in the state of Missouri. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wendy Battaglia, and I am a CNA at the Missouri Veterans Home in Cameron. I've worked there for 7 years, since 2007. I'm also a single mother of 3 beautiful children. My salary last year was a little over $24,000, and that's just barely over the poverty level. Over the course of my 7-year employment there, I have had almost a $1.10 raise. I started in 2007 making $10.75 an hour. 2015, I'm making $11.85 an hour. That is ridiculous. We need to do something to get Missouri workers a better raise. We're losing good employees, we're losing good nurses. People are leaving and going in the private sector because they pay better, and that can't happen. Our veterans need good people to work and care for them. I'm looking at having to pick up a second job to make ends meet. My girls are very active. They want to do sports. They want to do cheerleading. I'm going to have to find more money to be able to support those, which is going to entail me having to spend less time with them, not being able to see them do their sports, go to their games, support them like a mother should be able to. So I'm here to ask everybody to give us a raise. We need it. We need our legislators to focus on creating a long-term solution to get Missouri workers off the bottom. Being 50 out of 50 is not okay. And Missouri isn't a last place state. At the bare minimum, Missouri should have a state employee wage average that puts Missouri workers in ranks in terms of cost of living. Thank you.
Representative.
Sure. Won't be. I think there's a couple of things that are important to remember. First, look at this chart. This isn't really a Republican or a Democratic issue. If you look at those 4% at the bottom of the chart, that was a Republican governor. You look at the stat we heard earlier, there is 17% turnover rate among state employees in the state of Missouri. Well, what does that mean for the bottom line? It means every time there's a turnover, that state agency has to advertise for and go out and hire somebody new. And that might not seem like much cost, but on top of hiring somebody new, they have to train them. And some of these jobs take a long time to get used to what they're doing. State employee jobs are not always easy. They are oftentimes very difficult. And by the time they get trained, then what happens? You have state contractors who are doing things, who have been outsourced, and they start offering them money to come and do essentially the same thing for more pay. It would make far more sense to have state employee salaries that are commensurate with where we are in the national rankings of the cost of living. So for that reason, I've supported pay raises every year, sometimes successfully, sometimes unsuccessfully. They've never been enough since I've been here. I support this plan to get us moved up to an appropriate place in the national rankings.
I think that'll wrap us up. I want to again thank Senator Nasheed and Representative Barnes, Representative Fitzwater for their leadership on this issue. I want to thank Wendy for taking the day from work today so she could come and be here and speak on this important issue. And at this time, I want to invite y'all to ask any questions you might have for any of the speakers.